Crochet. Welcome to my comfy couch today. Today is Friday, and it's been a couple of weeks. It's been a crazy kind of couple of weeks. Uh, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. I want to thank you all for joining me here on the comfy couch today. Thanks to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you being here, and I definitely appreciate all my OGs, the original gang, as it's called. I haven't made as much as I would like to think that I did in 2 weeks, but I did do a couple of things. And so I have them sitting all around me here on my comfy couch. Um, the first thing is this bag is from Nancy from She's Got Yarn Too, my very bestie. Uh, and it is my knitted blanket. I finished it, guys. I finished it. I knitted a blankie. So let's look at it. It's not perfect. And those of you that don't knit won't know. Those of you that do knit, don't judge. This is my first time ever to, make anything knitted. It is the Fall Comfy Cuddler by Mama in a Stitch. It's a free pattern. Laura sent it to me from Man Mimi's Crochet and Farming because I don't know how to really use Ravelry. I think that's where she got it. But it's got different stitches. Don't ask me. I don't know what they're called. This is the bumpy stitch. This is, I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it didn't turn out at all like it was supposed to stitch. This is the stitch that looks like a V that I love so much. This is the two together stitch. This on, on this side, the wrong side, is the V again, and more of the bumpies one way and more of the bumpies the other way. But the other side, it's all bumpies, different bumpies, because I don't know what they're called. I don't remember. And people tell me, and it doesn't stick. It's the bumpy stitches or the V stitches. That's what I know. I know when you V stitch on one side, and knit one side, purl the other side, you get this. And that's what I really like. I do like the filet too. And then one more to this. What is this? The bumpies. I don't know. But there's two different bumpy patterns in here. No, there's not. So anyway, then on my front half, I had a couple of rows of the V stitches where they weren't supposed to be. It was supposed to be something else. I don't know. So at the end here, I put those back in and made it a little bit longer. And so this is, anyway, the finished product. I did weave in all of my ends, Madonna, so it is considered completed. This is the first time I ever bound off anything, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know. You can see I did something wrong right here. I don't know what that story is. Well, you can't tell. I think maybe I zigged when I should have zagged. I don't know if I put it down and picked it up the wrong way. I don't know what I did, but it's not that noticeable. It's fine. But I bound off way tighter than what I should have. I was thinking I needed to hold the yarn tight so that I wouldn't lose any stitches, because I was really afraid the way that you have to do your needles to do this bind off thing. And so now it kind of wants to gather on the one end. So, it's the first time, so it's a learning experience. Don't bind off tightly, because then it makes it curved. Okay, now I know. I wasn't redoing it because I don't know how to put it back together. If I take stuff apart, like I can do maybe 1 or 2 stitches back up. But by the time I knew this was doing that, I was like almost done. And I'm like, nope, not, I can't back up that many. I do not believe this is a Boggy Creek size blanket, but even if it was, I would not donate it because it's all wrong. To the naked eye, probably, you know, to the untrained eye, it probably looks fine. Uh, but it's my prototype knit project. It's so soft and squishy. I love it. It will be great, just like this blanket, for sitting here on my couch in the winter and just covering up my legs while my crochet is on the rest of me. Um, and I am making another one, which I did not bring because I have not worked on it, so it's not down here, but that's just the V's that I am making for Boggy Creek. I haven't picked it up in a minute. But the last time I showed this, I had, oh, I don't know which is the right, I think this one. Yeah, I think I was here. I had these two done. I had to finish this and then, or maybe I finished all three of those. Yeah, no, the last time I showed it, I had maybe 2 rows of the filet done, and then I had this much. And I did this while Roy was in surgery and recovery and all that. I did all of it except the bind off row, because I didn't know how to do that, and I had to watch a tutorial. So all the rest of it from here down, I did in the hospital. And it was really funny because the next morning when he came home, he had a total knee replacement. And it was the robotic surgery. So it's supposed to be like easier on you. I think they don't do as much internal damage to your knees, like cutting off your legs or whatever. So that's what he had. And he is just doing so well. So, anyway, I was making coffee on Wednesday morning, and I put on a video, and it's Shannon from Oregon, Another Yarn, I think is the name of her channel. I will try to link her. And she was saying that she was frantically knitting while her husband was in surgery the day before. I don't know what surgery he had done, but we were on the same page because I frantically knitted while my husband was in surgery. So what did I use to get me through this pattern, which is right here. I know I've showed it a million times, but for all my newbies, it is called the Fall Chunky Cuddler Blanket by Mama in a Stitch. I know I said that, but I thought maybe it would say she's got a website. I don't know. But here are some pictures. I hope you can see. That's what it's supposed to look like. I mean, she says it's going to be 45 by 45 and to use a chunky yarn. Well, I did, she said 7 skeins of Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. Not doing wool. But anyway, that's my pattern. And I used this book, Knit 101, to help me know how to learn to knit and the stitches, and it was very helpful book at the beginning. Not that it wouldn't be helpful for more items. And it does have, let's see, it does have a bunch of patterns in the back. All of these patterns are in this book. I don't know that after 1 or 2 projects you could do something like that sweater. That's definitely not a beginner sweater. But there are beginner to not beginner projects in here, and I don't think I would have survived without my book. So I used that. Then I used, where are my needles? I used these circulars, bamboo, 10 millimeter. I used lots of dots, which will go back. I have 2 more skeins of this, so this will go back in a bag upstairs. It won't go in the scrap bin since I have more. And so, you know, if you need a little to finish a project. Helps you if you're playing Yarn Chicken. But this is Lots of Dots by Baby B. There are, it's a 3.5 ounce, 100 grams. That's 110 yards or 101 meters. 60% acrylic, 40% polyamide, bulky 5. Says use 6.5 knitting needles or an 8mm hook. Well, I used 10. This color is called Dewdrops. Now, I know this was a discontinued yarn at Hobby Lobby, but I'm giving you all the stats in case you want to know how much yarn to use to buy. And I went through, I know it said 7. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5. I think I had, yeah, because I thought I had 9. I have 2.5 left. So 5, I had 8, I guess. Unless I lost a ball band. But I was trying to keep them all in here so that I would have a good count when I was done. So that's what I did use is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, 5.5. So that would be 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I did have 9. This is, yeah. So that's what I used, along with the book and the pattern, and my project is now complete. One finished object. I'm so excited about that. I did also finish my Hooker versus Hooker challenge project, my wreath. We all know that we're making a wreath for that challenge with 5 colors of yarn, and I did go yarn shopping in my yarn room with you guys. I took you with me. My wreath is done. Charm Chatter Champions are going to be the winners, I have to say. It's good. It's good. You guys are going to be so proud. And everybody else is going to be so sad. Because mine is definitely going to win. And, yeah, I have to talk shit. Sorry for the language, but I got to do it. Because some of those other hookers aren't even started. So obviously they don't know what they're doing. Because they haven't started. That's on them. Their challenge, and they're going to lose. I have no idea what Brenda's doing, but I have heard that she started hers. So good for her. I know that Laura is thinking about starting hers and then realized she did not buy a wreath form. Neither did Jan from an Alaskan Crafter. Brenda is a subscriber. She does not have a channel. So I wish her the best. Laura and Jan, you're going down. Sorry, guys. Jan said she's not starting hers until the 20th. But now that I'm done with mine, she's running scared. I just want you guys to know. Okay, so that's enough talk about that. Now, I am, as you know, Nancy and I are on our Tuesday night lives. We're doing a crochet along where we've picked some motifs, and we want it to be Breast Cancer Awareness Pink for the month of October, and Barbie. I couldn't think of it. So I don't have it all up to date done. I have kind of mishmashed my squares, and I added a new color from what I originally showed you. I added this sparkly pink that is a red heart with love and metallic, and the color is fuchsia, and it is a very bright, pretty pink. So then I had all these other pinks, which you'll see. They're just different yarns, different ones, but I showed them all to you before. Don't mind the noise. So the pattern layout is upstairs, but I've shown you pictures. So on mine, I'm going to have, I think it's 25 squares. It's 25 squares. 12 of the squares are this farmhouse square in white. Now I have used a 6mm hook for everything. And I did 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, to make this like almost 8-inch square. So I made 12 of these. And they're done except for I weave in the tails later. Then the first week, my first row is done. Nancy was picking out the motifs. I picked out the solid square. You guys don't mind my hair. Like I said, this is the nursemaid look, okay? So the first week, Nancy picked out, she's picking out the motifs for the most part. I picked out the solid square. So the farmhouse, and then she picked out this heart, and then I did a farmhouse, and then Bag O' Day designed this wonderful bobble stitch. Her original design, the bobble stitch, was completely solid color to make the breast cancer awareness ribbon, and I loved it. I wanted to do mine, and Jaxie did. Jaxie from Creations by Jax. I wanted to do like a bright pink here, this particular bright pink, because all of my backgrounds on my motif squares are going to be this light pink to keep like things kind of cohesive. So it'll be a white square, and then whatever the motif is with the light pink background, and then have the motif in the brighter colors, brighter pinks. So when I did the motif in the solid light pink, I thought it was too plain, but I started to do it and just carry the yarn through, but the bright pink was showing through in the middle, and I didn't like the look of it. Jaxie's looks great. I took mine out and just did the bright pink and then outlined it with surface crochet, and I think it looks really nice. I'm real proud of the way that turned out, and I'm okay with it. So it's staying, and obviously I've joined it together. So the first top row looks like this, with 3 of the white squares and 2 of the motif squares. Then the next row will have 3 of the motif squares and 2 of the white squares. So Nancy picked out a, isn't it cute, smiley face. I don't know if you can see it as good as what I'd like you to see it, but you can see there's this, I should have put the brighter, the fuchsia color in as the eyes, but it's good. And I did do a back to the circle because it didn't look good, so I just made a back for it and sewed them together so that all the stringy things are hidden. So this one will have a motif and then a white and then a motif. So the next one she wanted was the retro daisy, and this is where I had to bring in that bright pink, the new color. I'm like, I need something to help contrast better, so I put that in, and I totally love it. And then the white, and then there's one more motif square that'll be on the outside. I don't have that one done yet because I need the tutorial, and I haven't had the opportunity to sit down with that tutorial and make that square. So hopefully I can get that done today or tomorrow. Then the next row, we're on row 3 this week, and that's the one that Jaxie's square will be in the center. So in the center square, it'll be, for this week, it'll be a white square on the outside, then one of the squares that Nancy's picked, then Jaxie's square, then another motif square, then a white square. So this row is going to have like a big center of color. Jaxie's square is gorgeous. I haven't made it yet because I have to sit down with the tutorial, and I just haven't had the time for that. So I picked this square. Nancy didn't think she was going to have time to pick the squares, so I picked a couple of squares and said, try these, see if you like these. And one was just a plain granny, and I said, for the plain granny, do an ombre. She wasn't understanding what I was talking about, so I made the square and showed it to her. I said, this is, you can take a picture of this. Here's a picture of this. You can show this as what to do with the granny, just the straight, regular granny. I don't know if she was real thrilled with it. I think it's gorgeous, and I love it. So it's going to go like this, and then Jaxie's square is going to go here, and then I think she picked a peace sign as one of the squares that she picked for this week. So I'm going to try it in the same manner as the smiley face, but I'm going to use the really bright pink to make the like the outside of the square with the peace sign is going, let me find my smiley face. So we're going to have the light pink on the outside, then maybe this color pink again on the, is the circle, but then where the actual peace sign part is, I'm going to use this really dark fuchsia again, because this color did not stand out as brightly against this pink as this color will. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do there. And so that'll go after Jaxie's square. So I have 3 tutorials I need to watch to finish up and get caught up with this week. But all my white squares are done. Everything that I can sew together, except for this one is not yet sewed together. So I have starts of rows, but I can't even sew the started rows together until I get them finished. So I got bits and pieces all over the place of the breast cancer awareness blanket, breast cancer / Barbie. Mine will go to Boggy Creek. The color here that I'm using to bind, to sew together, and then it will be my border color. It's the only place I'm using this color is for joining, and I think, oh, maybe I lied. Oops, yep, I did use it for 1 row in here, the second row. But I really want to keep that color specifically for border and binding. Joining. But I think this is where I actually brought in the additional pink here, the fuchsia with the sparkle, because I needed more rows to make it the right size, and I ran out of pinks that I had picked out. So I found that scrap pink and just added a little here and there in some of the other squares, so it looks like it's supposed to go there, and now it does go there. And I'm really happy with the way this blanket is looking so far. I think it's going to be really fun. Some little girl is going to love having that, and my granddaughters, I'm not showing it to them because I think they'll want one in their own colors, which wouldn't be terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong, that wouldn't be terrible. And I don't know if any of them would want it in pink. Then I am working on Luck of the Draw. I don't want to go into big details on that. I'm still debating some things, but I will show you what I've got so far. So let me just reach that over here. So my Luck of the Draw, my colors are purples and greens. My inspiration yarn, I've got bags of bags in this bag. It's ridiculous. Let's take this color. Here it is. This is my inspiration. Purples and greens. I know they sound like they would look terrible together, but I used this yarn to make a blanket. It was one of the ones that Mikey did several years ago. The planet ones, I can't remember what he called them, but anyway, I used this as an inspiration yarn, and I picked colors out of this. Chloe was shopping with me, and we picked all these colors. I didn't know how much to buy. I was really new at crocheting, so I didn't know how much to buy of each color, so I bought like 7 skeins of each color. I don't know. And the blanket is over there. Maybe I'll even get it for you. But anyway, I still had a couple of these skeins left, and purple is my favorite color. Green is Chloe's favorite, historically Chloe's favorite color, which is why we picked this one to begin with several years ago. Well, when I was looking for what to do with Luck of the Draw, I'm like, purple. So I was going to do 2 blankets. One, the stained glass square that Bag O'Day made. Crystal did a fabulous job on that square, and it's a big square. You'd only need 9 of them. But it's very detailed. And I think I would have the time now to do it, but it took me a couple of hours to make that one square. And I thought, oh gosh, I'll never have time to keep up with that. Maybe I would. But I don't want to be pressured into it. I do want to make a blanket out of that, and I wouldn't mind using these yarns, so I'm not going to put them away. I think when I'm done, I can make like a square a month and make that blanket, because I think it'll be gorgeous. And this is the purple that would be the stain, like the leading that puts the stained glass together. Gorgeous, right? So this is the main color. But for a boggy blanket, I thought I would use, and I'm doing the Nan's original pattern, but in the squares. And so I took this green to make my, be the main color of Boggy Creek blanket. Hashtag Luck of the Draw, hashtag Boggy Creek edition. So then I, I still want to use this color. So I decided that, maybe I will do one with the main color of the purple and one with the main color, because just making a square is really fast every week. But then I'm like, I don't know if I want to do 2 squares. So what I am going to do for sure right now is 1 square a week, and I have decided this is the extra square, because originally I was going to do 2 squares. So I have these because I was going to do 2 squares each week. And this is with the first week's color. So 2 of the green, or 2 of the purple with this week's color, and 2 of the green with this week's color, because the squares have to be, I'm going to need 25, and we're only going to week 15. So then I have a big debate amongst myself. How am I going to put the blanket together? Well, if I do 2 of each time, then I'll have plenty of squares. But then I'm going to have too many squares. So anyway, I have these as extra. They will go in at some point, probably. But what I've decided to do, and what I'll show you now, is this is week 1. Green for the main color, and this is the regular color for week 1. Then week 2, we'll use the purple square as the purple as the main color, and the color for week 2. Then for week 3, I'm using the color, the main color as the outside, and the week color, the weekly draw color, as the inside. So these will go together this way. Now week 4, I will have the main color as the purple as the outside, and the weekly draw color as the inside, so that when they get put together, I do have them tied together, but can you get the idea? Now I know that these greens, there's a lot of green. We keep picking green colors, but I'm going to put these together in a row straight across. Like I said, I do have them tied together right now until I have enough for a row. But I'm going to put them together in the row kind of similar like this, and I'm going to put them together with the dark purple. So that will help separate out the greens, because I'm not going to use the green to put them together. Oh wait, they go in this order. I'm getting them twisted. Okay. Yeah, So they go in this order. So for week 1, week 2, nope. Yep. Tighten it back up because I made it too loose. There we go. So yeah, week 1, week 2, week 3. So I'm very excited about this, and I'm going to use different colors, the 2 different colors, to join them together. I'm not going to make just the joins all solid. I've never done that before, and I'm just single crochet joining because that doesn't take up very much space, but yet you can still see the join, because I'm not going to have a great deal of wiggle room to keep it in the size for a Boggy Creek blanket. So I'm just going to do the single crochet join so that I don't add too much width. But these ones I know I'm going to put together in the purple. The next row maybe I'll put together in the green. Depends on how the colors come out. If it's a lot of green, a lot of purple around the outside edges, then I'll put those colors together with the green. I'm just going to see how it goes. I want to break up like a lot of green at one time with the purple. So even if it's this side gets joined with green and this side gets joined with purple, I think that'll still be interesting. If I don't like it, I'll take it apart and try do it different. You know what I mean? Can always do it different. So my color for this week was this purple, and this is a Loops and Threads or Impeccable. This is Impeccable. This is Kieran 1 pound. The purple, the dark purple, is a Dreamweaver. Can't get that yarn anymore. So I think what I'm going to do is I need 25 squares. So I'm going to do these ones in the order that they're drawn, and that'll go the first 15. I have these extra ones that I've already made, so I'll throw those in to give me 16, 17, and 18. I'm just going to sporadically separate them out so that I don't have 2 of the same near each other. And then my favorite ones is probably what I'll remake and add until I get the other 25. Until it's big enough. So that's kind of my thought process. But I think I like the idea of interchanging the middle squares to not just be the color of, the main colors, but to put sometimes the main color on the outside. We'll see if you can even tell. Who knows? But the colors are going to look well together because I know that they do from the blanket that I've already made. So I'm real excited about that. And I kind of want to cheat and go ahead, but I'm not going to. Then I started another blanket. I have this friend. I'm not going to say any names, but this friend of mine is in Granny Square hell because she's an odd duck and she doesn't know how to shut her quacker. And she was mouthing off, and now she has like 500 squares to make. And because she quacks a lot, that put another one of my friends, Lynanne, into a bind because she has, Lynanne from Nina's Next Knots, has agreed to accept your granny squares, and she will turn 5-inch granny squares, and she will turn them into blankets for Boggy Creek. So people are sending her granny squares based on a Quack Quack Dare challenge from my very good quacker friend. And so I said I would make some squares for her. I will go stitch for a friend. It's supposed to be a secret, so don't tell anyone. But I have these yarns picked out to make a Boggy Creek blanket. Or no, to make a Luck of the Draw blanket. I have this yarn right here. I have several skeins of this. This is, I have 4 skeins of it. This is, I Love This Yarn by, from Hobby Lobby. I got it on clearance at one of their clearance sales. It's like so colorful. And when I pick out Boggy Creek blanket or Boggy Creek patterns, um, yarns, I like to pick a variegated with lots of colors in it and then choose colors to match. I find that that way I know the colors go together. I'm not picking something that's like, what the heck did you pick that color for? So I use a inspiration color. And so I picked these to do Luck of the Draw 8. And I forgot that I had them picked when I picked for the actual Luck of the Draw 8. And when I was cleaning out my yarn rooms, I found this bag with these 9 different colors in there. This being the main color, and then 8 colors to go with it. And I'm like, what is this? And then it dawned on me, oh, I think I picked these colors to make something for the next Luck of the Draw. I'll still make a Luck of the Draw with it. But then this ghost stitching came up, and I thought, I'm going to use these. Now this color is called Sherbert's Stripes. And it's just so fun. So I picked, let me show you. I only need 7 colors. So one of the 8 colors that I picked was this cream color. This is a big twist. And this color is actually called cream. But if you see my base color, lots of cream. So I thought, well, I'll use that. But I only need 7 colors because I'm going to do 7 of each color. 7 times 7 to make a 49 square blanket. So I'm not going to use the cream. I'm throwing the cream out because I want it to be more colorful. So then I picked this lavender, coral, this blue. It's not necessarily the blue that's in there, but I picked this blue, which is closer. I don't know why I picked that blue and didn't pick a pink. I did not pick a pink. A mint green. Don't mind the crinkle. This is in a bag because it's a scrappy skein, but a bit large one. This green matches that green, kind of a little darker, but still good enough. So I picked this green. And I needed one more color. I don't know why I picked this bright yellow versus a pink, because there is no yellow in here. So I don't know what the heck I was thinking and why I didn't pick a pink, because there is pink. Like that lavender goes to like a pinky color, but I picked yellow. Don't ask me why. I don't remember. I don't care. The colors I think look good together. Some of them match really well, some of them not as good. But because these colors are so diversified, I think the yellow works. And it's nice and bright, and it looks like sunshine. Still attached because I haven't measured to see if this is going to be enough rows. I think it is, because I need it to be like a 5-inch square. So I might have to end at 1 row of granny stitch. But I kind of stole the idea of this from the smiley face granny square in the pink blanket. And so I think some of them I will add a smiley face to, just surface crochet a smiley face on it. Particularly the yellow ones, because the original smiley face, if you remember from way back when, was yellow with black eyes and a mouth. So this is going to be my my ghost blanket. And it's going to go to Boggy Creek. I'm going to take it down with me. So I'm doing 7 of every square, with the circle being this color. I mean, all those colors are going to be 7 squares in the circle. of the center circle, and then the outside is going to be this color right here. And I'm thinking I will join and everything with this color. I have enough border, all of it, but it might be too much because that's really kind of busy. So I might have to join with a different color. And then maybe we'll take a vote if I do it, if I do a different color for joining and bordering. Because this might be kind of busy this way. But it might be kind of cool. I don't know. But I kind of maybe like, maybe the pink that I never put into it. But I do want it to be very neutral. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. But I kind of like the idea, and it's soft so far because this yarn is really soft. I love this yarn. It's very soft. This yellow is very soft as well, and that's a Dreamweaver yarn too. So now you're caught up. That's everything that I've worked on. Now what I started, what I finished. I'm very excited that I finished my knit blanket, guys. And I haven't worked on the other one, but it'll get done before Boggy time. So that's cool. All of these will be done for Boggy. So on a personal note, non-crochet, Roy did have, my husband, had knee replacement surgery on Tuesday. Today is Friday. So Tuesday we got home from the hospital at 6:30. We pulled in the driveway. He had his surgery about 9:30 in the morning. They gave him, he was knocked out completely for the surgery, but they gave him a spinal and they gave him an 18-hour nerve block. So when he got home, he wasn't feeling too bad. I was really, 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 really concerned about him getting up 4 or 5 stairs to get into the house and then 13 stairs to get to the second floor. If he got wobbly because he's still drugged up, there's no way I'm saving him from falling down the stairs by myself. And if he was in too much pain to do the stairs, like or too, weak because like they cut him open and, like worked on his bones. I've had broken bones. Like, it's not a comfortable feeling the first day or so, So I was real scared for him. And so my kids came. Amanda and Chloe were with us for the surgery. And then my daughter came home. She spent the night here that night, just in case. But my boys came from work. One left work early. One was on his lunch break. And they helped get their dad up the stairs. And thank God that the kids were all here. Amanda ran and got his prescriptions while the boys got him up the stairs, and I prayed. Just please, Lord, let them get him up the stairs. And thank God they got him up the stairs. I thought he'd have to be taking breaks. He did good. He did so good. And my boys were just fabulous. I could not have been happier for them to be here. Such relief. So Stephen had to run off to work. Randy hung out for a little bit and helped. I have a freestanding shelf above the toilet. I never thought that might be an issue, but that's an issue. We had to move that. So Randy moved that for me. We just made sure everything was in line and Roy could survive upstairs. And physical therapy came the next day, which was Wednesday. He was in a great deal of pain on Wednesday. The nerve block had worn off. He had not slept well. You would think with all those drugs he'd be knocked out, but he could not sleep, And I kept leaving him upstairs alone, close the blinds and make it really dark, curtains, make it really dark in there and quiet. And he would be so tired, and like every time he'd get really relaxed, then he'd move his knee and he would be in pain and he couldn't sleep. Then we have a cryo water machine, which they don't recommend because it doesn't get to freezing cold, like actually 32 degrees. but it gets under 40. That stuff's really cold. Um, he's been using that, and yesterday, so Wednesday, he was in a great deal of pain. Yesterday, man, that man is just pretty much walking around. Um, there are exercises that he has to do that he really, really, really struggles with, but some things that he couldn't even do it all on Wednesday, he was doing last night without even realizing he was doing the movements. Um, Lifting the leg is real problematic. It's painful, and he struggles to do that. Bending the knee was real problematic Wednesday. By last night, he's like to put the ice wraps around his leg and stuff. He's moving his knee and not even realizing that he's doing it. Like there's so little pain. I can't even believe it. And I have bad knees, and my doctor's been wanting me to get knee replacement, but I don't get paid if I'm off of work. And I'm like, we're gearing for retirement. I'll get that done when I'm retired and I'm not working anymore, but I can't go without pay right now. That hinders our retirement plans, you know what I mean? So, I see Roy on Wednesday, and he's using a walker. Still, he has to use the walker. But he is putting so much weight on his arms and to carry his body and not put weight on that surgical leg. I said, after watching him, I'm like, my wrists will not stand up to that. I broke my right wrist when I was a kid, and I broke my foot when I was 35-ish. And I had to use crutches, and my right wrist would not handle that when I was 35 because of the arthritis in it. Well, now I'm 60. I know a walker isn't the same, but he is using that and supporting himself like on Wednesday he was. Well, I broke my left wrist last year, and it's arthritic and osteoporosis. I'm like, well, I can never get knee surgery because there is no way I could do what you are doing. My arms would not support me. My wrists will break to try to do that. And he's like, well, I'm sure there's, something we can do to build you up in the meantime so that you'll be able to do knee surgery. Well, by the middle of the day on Wednesday, he's like, there is no way I want you to go through this. He was in such pain that he's saying that. And by last night, Thursday evening, he's like, and this morning, he said, it doesn't even hurt right now. I don't have any pain right now. And he's walking, he's taking full steps, he's putting full weight on it yesterday evening. He's doing his exercises, he's doing what he's supposed to do, and like sometimes he's like silent screaming. And I'm like, okay, don't do that one anymore. That's enough. That's enough. You don't have to be in that much pain. That's not the idea. And he's like, oh, thank God, And he is taking all of his medications, but he's backed off on some of the medications. Like they were allowing him 2 doses of oxycodone, and now he's down to 1. And he didn't even want to take that, but the physical therapist and the occupational therapist are coming today. So he's like, they keep saying stay on top of the pain. And so he's taking them, and we'll see how it goes after therapies. After the therapists leave today, we'll see how he feels. But he's got a therapist coming at like around 1 o'clock, and he's got a therapist coming 3:30 or 4 o'clock. So we'll see how he does and see how his pain level is. But I am amazed. I guess that's at how well he is doing with this. And like it's only been a couple of days, but I was expecting excruciating pain still through for several days. Yesterday he wanted to try the stairs. I'm like, don't you dare. Do not even think you're going to do those stairs. Not without your boys and a therapist and the EMT waiting. Because if you go down, no. Life will be over. Forget it. That's not happening. So he said, okay. Like as worried as I was to get him up the stairs, And we have, it's 13 stairs, but there's like 4 stairs and then a landing and then a longer flight of stairs. Maybe it's 3 stairs and then the landing. Um, and practicing on those stairs, those 3 little stairs, not a bad idea. And like build up your strength and all of that, that would be a good way. When they practice in the hospital, he's still under the nerve block and they're using wooden stairs with no carpet. We have carpet and it's a plush carpet. You know, it's thick, it's squishy. So when you put the cane on it, it's not as stable as the stairs without carpet. And that then, like, you have to have a lot more strength to keep your cane from wobbling, because he'll have to use a cane at first, you know, until the leg is more healed. And I'm like, we're not doing that by ourselves. There is absolutely no way. So he didn't argue about it. I'm like, if you fall, we're screwed. He's going, but it doesn't hurt that bad right now. And I'm like, this is day like 2 after surgery. I can't believe he feels this good. Which is encouraging to me to say, yeah, maybe I could handle, 1 day of really, really bad pain and having to walk on my arms. But if I had to walk on my arms like he was doing yesterday for several days, for a week, 2 weeks, I don't think my wrist would stand up to it. And then my crochet life could be over. Well, that ain't worth it. He says, what are we going to do when you're old if you don't get knee surgery? I said, I'm going to buy a little red scooter and I'm just going to drive everywhere I want to go. So he's like, well, okay, there's that. Like, yeah. So that's the health update on my husband. He is doing very, very well. I'm very proud of him. I'm very relieved because I was so worried. And I think he's sleeping. I haven't heard him. So I don't even want to go up there because I don't want to wake him. He has not slept well. He slept better last night than he did the night before. He kept being up all night long. Wednesday night. Tuesday night. Wednesday night he was up all night. Last night I think he slept for a solid 4 hours without waking up. At least he wasn't out of bed because I could hear him if he was up. He got up at 3:30 and it was medicine time anyway. So I got up and refreshed his ice and gave him his pills, and I think from 3:30 to 7:30 I woke him up. When I woke up, I set an alarm for his medication, and I think I woke him up when I got up to go to the bathroom and I brushed my teeth. He was asleep, but by the time I got done doing that, he was awake, so I think I woke him. But I was going to wake him anyway, so because it was medication time. My friend said that she made the biggest mistake. Her husband finally got to sleep, and she didn't want to wake him for his meds, and she said, you got to stay on top of the meds to stay on top of the pain. And she said it took a long time to get him back to not being in a great deal of pain again after she let him sleep through 1 dose of medication. So she said, don't do that. I'm like, okay, I'll wake his ass up. Oops. I'll wake his butt up. So I was waking him up anyway. But anyway, that is the health update on him, and he's doing really well. And I think I can get a lot of crochet time in now. I don't go back to work until November 3rd. So that's good news. And I will see you guys in another video with hopefully finished objects to show you, or at least completed partials of objects. And I'm not sure when that'll be. Hopefully not too long. A day or two, hopefully. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me all this time. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.